You're watching the award-winning GHS-TV, a nationally recognized student television station.
Hello, and welcome to this week's edition of GHS-TV's award-winning talk show, Crosstalk. I'm your host, Rachel Christopherson. Each week in this time slot, we take a look at different issues, personalities, and events that affect you and our community. Since it first became available in the 1920s, televisions and the television medium have come a long way. But the purpose of TV remains the same, to inform and entertain. Today, we're going to explore three types of television media. First up is the traditional news medium. Here to talk about what local news offers the community is Merle Purvis, main anchor for Fox 13 News. Ms. Purvis, thank you for coming on the show today.
What a pleasure, Rachel. This feels like the big deal here.
Well, I wanted to start off by discussing the role local news plays in the Mid-South region. What are your views on this?
I believe that at the top of this you said to inform and entertain, and I would just add illuminate. We can do those things. Edward R. Morrow said we could, and so if Edward R. Morrow says we can, of course we can. Local news is still the place that communities, families, individuals turn when they are either concerned or interested in what's happening around them that has to do with their day-to-day lives. How is it changing? And if they don't like the changes, what do they do to switch it back the other way, or to reverse course, or to create a different way, a better way, if you will? So that is what local news can do, that the big networks with all the billions of dollars cannot do. We can tell you what is happening down the street. We can tell you about a food desert and when that is going to change, or if there are no plans to change it. That is what affects our day-to-day lives.
Defend.
We're going to show you two of the most important things you should do to defend yourself from danger.
The Memphis TV market is such a diverse one. How does Fox 13 determine what matters to the average viewer?
It is very difficult. So you lead with what can you do that is the truth and accurate today that affects the most people.
The number of heroin overdoses has nearly doubled in Shelby County since 2013.
You start there, and then it's an inverted pyramid for on the one hand, which of these stories can you prove, do you know for sure that will affect the most people? And then the next level would be we can prove it, it's interesting, not as many people will be affected by it and maybe not even interested in it, but it is entertaining or it is informative, and there is another perspective to it. So those, I would say those are the two big pillars of how we do that.
On any given day, you and your competing station will air the same newsworthy stories. How does Fox 13 set itself apart from the other stations?
We dig deeper. We want to know, it's important to know there was a police chase and that 2 officers may have been injured and a suspect is in custody. We'd like to know not just what time did it start, why did the chase start, were there other suspects, how many officers were on the scene, what is the charge? Not only would we like to know that, we'd like to know what is the background of this suspect. Is this the first time the suspect has been in trouble with the law, or was this likely to happen because this is the 4th such incident in the last 4 weeks? And if a suspect was shot, we would like to know about the suspect. We'd like to know where the suspect is from. We'd like to know about the officer that fired the gun. How often has this officer been in trouble for the same kind of incident, or been in trouble for aggression, or been warned? We like to go a lot deeper so that you don't think sitting at home it's all the same. We don't ever want it to be all the same. Mm-hmm. And of course, you can separate yourself with talent. People follow reporters that they love, that they feel that they can depend on. They follow anchors that they feel they can trust. But we'd like to have a third and a fourth level to build trust among our viewers.
Well, in a breaking news situation, how do reporters and assignment editors and producers ensure that the information going on is correct and credible?
Our motto with Cox Media is, and everyone wants to be first, breaking news. Cox Media believes you're not first if it's incorrect. And so you are responsible for both those things. You want to be first. We're in the breaking news business. So, by the way, everyone call me if you've got breaking news. So once it comes in, we vet it through 2 other sources, and reliable sources, and that before we make a move, airing it. The last thing you want is to air something that is incorrect, that potentially affects someone's life forever. That's the last thing you want. Mm-hmm.
Well, Ms. Purvis, thank you for talking with us today.
This was so easy. It's done. Yes. You all are amazing. So professional. Bravo, brava to you.
Thank you. Next up, we'll take a trip to a TV station that supports and promotes the achievements of the Shelby County School District.
We're running a 24-hour broadcast television station like no other school has done.
It is student run, it's student produced, it is student written, and it's student directed.
Here's to another 35 more years.
Students here get immersed in lots of different types of shows so that when they go out into the real world or to college, if this is what they want to pursue, they are so prepared.
Those lessons have also affected me in the ways that I would never even imagine.
It has shown me to be different and to, not settle for mediocrity. When you're producing a show, you want your show to be the best one it can be. You want it to be, a show to remember, a show that you want to look back on and say, I did that.
Yes, I did do this. Did I believe that I could do this? No, but because of all the support that I gained, I know that I can actually get this done.
I know that the skills I've learned here is something I'm never going to forget, and same with the experiences here.
From all of us here at GHS-TV, have a great day.
Music isn't just notes and rhythm, it's about feelings and emotions.
I believe students should participate in a music program no matter what high school they go to, no matter what aspect of music they might be interested in. I want for my students to gain skills and knowledge about music every single day. Music is a wonderful way for students to express themselves and express their experiences.
I feel like this music program, it helped me to just settle, just stop and just focus on what I need to do.
Being in band benefits me by helping me become a better musician, because I would like to go into music once I go to college.
Ultimately though, truly wish that my students get life skills out of my program. I believe the skills of teamwork, building community, showing up on time, prepared to do a good job, those are things that are invaluable and you cannot get in any other academic program at a school.
For more information about the Kappa program, visit ghskappa.com or call 755-7775. You're watching the award-winning GHS-TV, a nationally recognized student television station.
Welcome back to Crosstalk. We're in C19's state-of-the-art facility. It offers multiple exposure opportunities to schools and district departments via online streaming, event coverage, live interviews, video productions, and so much more. I sat down with John Best, C19's general manager, to discuss what all the station has to offer. Mr. Best, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Can you give us a brief history of C19?
It's been a station created to inform the public, and not only just the students and teachers and everybody in SCS, but the things that's going on inside of Memphis, Tennessee. Not just Shelby County Schools, but everything that's in the community.
Well, what is the educational mission or value of C19?
To inform, and educate. So whether when we had some educational cartoons running certain day, like on Saturday mornings, we would have a lot of, everything is educational, but the educational value is we're about to open the doors to teachers to have teacher talks, roundtable discussions. We was focusing on students in the past, but now that I'm general manager, we're about to start expanding to teachers, principals, and stakeholders in the community. We're going to open up C19 a little more.
Well, C19 is the voice of SCS.
That's right.
How much of your broadcasts are focused on SCS-related issues as opposed to national?
Everything is SCS right now. Everything from classroom stuff, our board meetings, our city council meetings that we're looking to air on C19, but everything is about SCS right now, and it's all local, but we're looking to change here in the near future.
Well, C19 provides students at a number of schools the opportunity to work as reporters, hosts, producers, and directors.
Yes. Matter of fact, I met with all of the audiovisual teachers. I believe we got about 8 or 9 that's in the district, and I informed them that they will be responsible for sending us video and things that they're doing at their school, and also if they're interested to come, they'll be able to come over to the studio and work out on some other big projects as well.
Well, about how many schools participate in this program?
I believe it's 8.
Do you ever work personally with the students at C19 TV?
Well, now that I'm general manager, I get to kind of work with them a little more because I want to see who's coming in, you know, like looking at them a little more, with a different eye. Before, I was just working with anybody that came through. Now it's like, okay, that looked like a person that can be in front of the camera, or this person has a good voice. They'll go on to the radio side. We recently had a open house for students that was interested, and we had over 35 students that come in from around the district. Some of them wanted to be behind the camera, some of them wanted to be in front of the camera, but what we're going to do with C19 is give every student an opportunity to do something.
What qualifications do students need to get into the C19 program?
Well, basically, you know, you got to have some kind of love or passion for, you know, if you want to touch a camera, if you want to be a producer, you want to do something like what you're doing. You know, you can't just come in here and just say, I just want to try it, and had no experience in the past, because the people that's coming to C19, they have to have some kind of love or respect or some kind of passion for it, because if not, then it's like we're starting from ground one, and that's what they can get outside. We're kind of looking for students that kind of have some type of experience in some shape, form, or fashion.
Well, what effect do you think your program has on the Shelby County school system?
I think it has a big effect on the Shelby County school system, because soon as we have videos coming in, say we do about 6 videos a week, and we're putting them on the TV station immediately. So students, teachers, and the public will see currently what's going on in Shelby County schools up to the minute. So here in the next 2 weeks, we're going to, it's funny that this is taking place now, because we're getting ready to rebrand and start over from the ground up and kind of put C19 in a different light.
Well, how much of the work at C19 is done by students as opposed to paid employees?
Before this year, we had students doing all kinds of projects. We had a newscast.
Hello, and thanks for joining us for another edition of C19 News.
Anytime we would have big events like the Southern Heritage Classic, where, you know, students would get to interact with community leaders and people in the community, we always had them involved. But now with the new redesign, the CTE redesign, now our students have to come in either after school or on the weekend, and that's some stuff that I'm getting ready to release too.
Well, how have you seen the work that students do at C19 transfer into work ethic in their everyday lives?
Well, I know when they came here, when they were here with me, we always stressed to be professional, follow instructions, respect everyone that comes into this building. And I noticed how a lot of my biggest pet peeve was people getting on the camera and saying, or scratching their head or things of that nature. So they knew in the beginning, Mr. Best didn't play with that. So things like that, when they came in one way, we took them as they are, but they left, more professional than when they came.
Well, how do you think the experiences students get at C19 prepares them for life after high school?
Well, on the equipment side, let's start there. We have state-of-the-art equipment. We have state-of-the-art a control room. So all of the stuff that they're working with here at C19, I'm sure they can work somewhere locally or regionally or statewide or throughout the United States and work fine. Because that's one of the things when we upgraded everything, we wanted to make sure we're using some 4K cameras and some state-of-the-art equipment to make sure they're equipped and know how to use it. Because before we had a lot of old equipment and we were kind of like in the dinosaur age. So that part is one. Then on the personal side, because we're striving to create the best students we can. So everybody had an understanding that we really wanted to be professional. In the way they walk, the way they talk, it was more of like trying to make people feel good when they were here, because we had a lot of students that came from various backgrounds and maybe weren't used to being around the spotlights and the cameras. So we had to really teach them how to appreciate being in this environment.
Well, do you have any advice for students interested in going into the television business?
If they're interested in this field of work, I would say, study, like read some of the history behind television, radio. Where are we at with cameras? Like before, it's 4K today, it's going to be 8K tomorrow. Learning the different codecs, learning the different streaming capabilities. Since streaming is starting to become a norm, know those things. And I think once they get a passion for that, it'll be much easier to transform into a program like ours.
Well, Mr. Best, thank you for talking with us today.
Thank you. It was an honor.
Coming up, our next destination features what the New York Times is calling the coolest genre of music today. Stick around.
This place, it's extremely unique.
You are pushed to do things that you didn't know you could do because someone else saw it in you.
If you're with us for your whole 4 years here at GHS, you get a great foundation of amazing classes.
Try the priest.
The approach we take to whether it's the fall play or the spring musical is that the students are truly the ones that are making the magic happen.
Tell all the people. You put the work in off and on stage. Not only are you on stage acting and playing a part, you're working, you're pricking your fingers, sewing the costumes, you're learning how to make exotic makeup designs, you're learning how to build the set that you're going to be planted on.
And as you grow with us within the program, your skills continue to develop and we build off your previous knowledge. And hopefully by the time you graduate, you're a well-rounded professional in a way, and you can move into any area that you'd like after high school and succeed.
If the children of the world.
Every day is different, every day is a new piece of music.
1 5 1 5 3 5 2 5 1 5
It's a large program. We have 3 full choral ensembles, a women's chorus, chorale, which is about 55 students, and our chamber choir, which is about 18.
There have been lots of opportunities to audition, which have encouraged me to be more confident with myself and really put myself out there.
I really enjoyed my time being in choir, especially here at Germantown, because I feel like there's something special about this particular school.
I like them to walk into my room and feel as though they are free to experiment with sounds.
How beautiful can you make German? That's the challenge.
We always say that we're a school of excellence, and I feel that that really shows in performances because we're all so focused in trying to reach our goals.
For more information about the Kappa program, visit ghskappa.com or call 755-7775. You're watching the award-winning GHS-TV, a nationally recognized student television station.
Welcome back to Crosstalk. I'm Rachel Christopherson. We are now at Diddy TV, a local music television network celebrated worldwide for its Americana and roots music style. Since it was launched in 2013, it's seen its online viewership increase to 5 million viewers a month. I sat down with Amy Wright, Diddy TV's co-founder, to discuss the station's success. Ms. Wright, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for coming to Diddy TV.
So explain to our viewers what Diddy TV is and how you came up with the idea.
So Ronnie and I are actually musicians ourselves, and we always loved music television. We loved MTV when it came out and it actually had music. And we have a background in technology. I'm sure we're going to address that in just a little bit. But we thought, how could we combine our love of music and our knowledge of technology into something that would be really fun? And we really just started out broadcasting out of the studio here in downtown Memphis to our friends. And you know, one thing led to another. We're entrepreneurs, and we just said we thought it would be great to take this to the next level. But we really didn't know what that would look like. And we were literally driving down the road one day, and we said, I wonder if we could get enough content from the industry, a la MTV, with videos, et cetera. I mean, we're filming here in our studio. That's great, but you can't create all the content. It's great to get content from the industry. We could launch something similar to MTV and see where that goes. And we thought, let's take 4 months and see if we can get enough content to at least launch as a music television network. And we chose Americana and roots music.
A musical genre that the New York Times recently called the coolest genre of music today, and we and our viewers agree.
Well, Diddy TV has a unique vibe. How long did it take to develop this?
That's an interesting question, because it wasn't the same in the very beginning. It was a little more corporate. You know, we didn't really it wouldn't have looked exactly like this. It took some time, and I think that was driven a little bit by the music that we were so immersed in. And we wanted it to feel authentic, not faux. And that just took time for that concept to sort of sink in. We always had a wonderful set. Everyone complimented us on the set, but I think now we really have a vibe. It's downtown Memphis. Memphis is a great music city, excuse me. And I think people immediately immerse themselves in that music culture, and just being downtown has really been helpful.
Well, Diddy TV took a few years to get into its stride. When did you know it was going to be successful?
That's a good question. I'm not sure as an entrepreneur that you ever know exactly when something's going to be successful. But when you start out, especially in something like this, where you're trying to establish yourself in the music business, it's not just that it's a television network. We have to be a part of the music business as a whole, and nobody knows who you are. And I would say that pivotal moment was when labels and artists and management started calling us, as opposed to us reaching out to them, and also including us as a part of their tour in advance of their tour planning.
For your Diddy TV News, I'm Tatiana Z.
And I'm Sam Shansky. It's Monday.
In the beginning, we actually reached out to artists that were going to be coming through Memphis. We still do that, of course. But now we actually get ahead of the tour. They plan to come to Memphis as a part of their tour, just to come to Diddy, just to record here as a part of the overall tour package.
Well, can you talk about some of the musicians who have performed or recorded here?
We have amazing musicians. Some of them aren't household names, some of them are. And at our core, we're a Discovery Network, so we always want to be a part of the path that an emerging artist is taking, especially an artist with great music and great video content. Even if they're not well known, let the audience decide. Come and discover some new artists. But you know, for example, we had Robert Randolph, you know, Blackberry Smoke. Chris Robinson from the Black Crowes has been in. Tommy Emmanuel, who's just an enormous figure in the guitar world. We have people in on a regular basis, and at this point have recorded over 400 shows in our studio.
Well, you and your husband, as you mentioned before, have a background in technology. How did this impact Diddy TV as you were developing it?
You know, it was key that we had a background in technology, because we decided early on that we wanted to be ahead of the curve, and in the music television streaming side of television, because television has traditionally been in people's homes, you know, via cable, direct TV, satellite TV. But because of our background in technology, we understood how to broadcast to the world, so to speak. And we're based in Memphis, but we're a global product.
You can watch Diddy TV in the comfort of your own living room on cable TV from Comcast, Mediacom, and Cox Cable, to name a few, using your TiVo. But it doesn't stop there. You can watch Diddy TV on any connected device, including smart TVs, Roku, Apple TV, phones, computers, and tablets. You get the idea.
It's still cutting edge. A lot of young folks like yourself have embraced the Netflix and Hulus, and a lot of them are cutting the cord. And we're in that vein. We're amongst those people who are sort of on the bleeding edge of this technology, and that's played a factor too in the development of our network.
Well, you guys did get into the streaming trend as it was a new concept. Can you talk about that process?
Well, the process for sort of deciding which platforms to launch on, we really started with Roku. And Roku was already out there, and we thought this would be a really great way for to get Diddy TV out to another audience. So folks that already had the Roku device, hey, we can tap into that audience. They're searching on music, they're searching on entertainment, and just by being on one of those platforms, because you can get Diddy TV on your computer, on a laptop, on a tablet, but we also thought that the viewer would really have a better experience if it was on their television set. So when we initially launched, we were just on the web, but we thought, let's see what one of these streaming platforms would do for our ability to reach a broader audience. And it was incredible. And we've continued to grow on all these platforms. So that's very encouraging.
Well, do you think that's the main reason you got your name out into the industry, or are there other factors?
Oh, you know, I think that that's one of the factors. I think we work really hard at social media. Social media is a very powerful tool. And we work with the artists, we work with our management. And so when an artist premieres a video on Diddy TV, we make a big deal about it. And then they in turn put that out on social media to their fans and say, hey, watch Diddy TV. So it's been very organic. I think that the music business is unique in that respect, because it has tentacles, and we're able to tap into those tentacles and constantly reach new audience through the artists themselves.
Well, Mrs. Wright, thank you for talking with us.
Well, thank you for coming down to our studio and interviewing me today. It was a pleasure. I love what you guys are doing.
Thank you. I'd like to thank all my guests for sharing their knowledge of the different aspects of TV media. Again, I'm Rachel Christopherson. From all of us here at GHS-TV, thank you for watching Crosstalk, and I hope to see you again.